What is up, guys? It's time for Dylan, back at it again with another crypto video. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are awesome. In today's video, I have something super special for you guys. I have none other than CryptoHeaps. He is a content creator on YouTube, loves talking about Cardano NFTs and the Cardano community. You guys probably know him best from his interview with Cash. But we have him here. Let's have him introduce himself. How you doing, CryptoHeaps?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me on TimeForDillon. Love your stuff and your YouTube as well. So blown away to be on here. And you are right. I could talk about Cardano all day, especially NFTs. It's what I like to do. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Dude, that's awesome. And thank you so much for joining, bro. I really appreciate it. You know, I did want to start off by asking you, because I love asking people, I love getting to know them. How did you get your start with Cardano? What made you start making crypto YouTube videos? Why are you here, bro? What happened? How did it start?
Yeah, so I can blame my good friend Jordan for getting me into the whole NFT craze. He was actually my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing coach, or one of them. And yeah, he's the one who got me into NFTs. And in terms of crypto, I've been dealing with crypto for a long time. My background is as a professional poker player, and that's just a currency we commonly trade with. It's much easier because it's so global to trade cryptocurrency versus fiat currencies. Because if I'm using, when I was in Australia and I want to trade with someone in Canada or the States or wherever, Europe, wherever, instead of using my Aussie dollars, it's way easier to use crypto. So I've been dabbling in crypto forever. Well, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, never really held on to those Bitcoins. So, I'm not retired on my yacht or anything, but super familiar with it. And then Jordan, my friend, was like, he spoke to me about these NFT things. And at first I thought, I didn't really understand them, didn't really get it. But the more I learned about it, the more I kind of loved it. And I've just fallen in love with the whole thing. And how I got into sort of content creation, it's always been a passion of mine to talk to people about the roles are reversed today, but I'd love to have you on my YouTube and you know what I mean, and ask you about how you got involved. I love learning that about people. And I also saw a sort of need in the space for good, honest content, like covering projects, not just because you got paid to, not because you're just trying to shill your bag or whatever it was. I wanted to get some real content where, it was just real, like real talk, real feelings. Yeah, totally. And that's something that I see from your channel too, J Crypto as well. So I feel like we're all coming up, putting this like good quality content out. We're not just here to shill. And I love talking to people. So it's always been that kind of a passion of mine. So at the moment it's a hobby, and I'm planning on going full force this year and just kind of see what comes of it. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that you were a professional poker player. You used to do it. Dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I love your content. Like you were saying, it is very genuine. Just like what I'm trying to do, just put out content for people for awareness purposes. You know what I mean? So I really respect that about you. And talking about putting out good content, I did want to ask you about your new NFT drop that's coming out, because man, the artwork looks sick. For you guys that don't know, CryptoHeaps has been working on this project called AdaArmy. Why don't you tell us about it, CryptoHeaps?
Yeah, thank you. So AdaArmy, I'm one of the co-founders. There's 6 of us on the team, and it's a real honest, fun, fast project. It's kind of like a profile pic project that's had steroids into it, and it's super fun, super happening, and it's professional. And so we're not going to try and create the next metaverse. We're not trying to create, some crazy game or anything like that, but we want realistic, achievable, fun, short-term goals for collectors. So this came from when I first came into the space, and I love it. I'm a poker player. I love gambling. I love collecting. And I love the community aspect for it. I'm chilling, chatting in Discords all day. Like, I love it. But what I found was, while there was a lot of things that were happening that I liked from projects, and this is several months ago, a lot of stuff that I didn't like seeing. Some of it's sort of still continuing, a lot of sort of rug pulls and things like that. But just, like people.
RIP to Ada Clouds. RIP.
Yeah, RIP. So just stuff like that. And I saw creators behind projects not hustling as much as I would have liked to have seen, particularly after the project sells out. Because I'm a degen. I'd be there minting. Project sells, and then it's kind of like, oh, where'd everyone? Not that it was like a full rug. So it kind of got me thinking. I thought, oh, I actually know an artist. I actually know a really good software programmer, a dev. And you know, I have my brother's a businessman. He owns, you know, he's opening 40 plus stores over the next few years. He's got, you know, like 11 Wendy's and that kind of thing. So I thought, oh well, and Jordan, my mate, who's also sort of has his eyes on the scene and got me into NFTs, so kind of knows sort of the what collectors want, what the community wants, along with myself. So I thought I want to create something that I would want to be a part of that does everything right. So there's a team of 6 of us. Our artist Dank Doodles is amazing, and he's I know everyone on the team personally before NFTs were a thing, right? So that we have that connection as well. But yeah, he's dope. You can see the detail and quality in his work. He's a professional. That's what he does. He's an artist for a living, and he's on our team. He's a bona fide part of the team, which to me is important, because it's not a good or a bad thing, but it's a positive when the artist can be on the team and feel like this is their project too, and they want to put that heart and soul and love into it. And then our dev Steve is just an absolute legend, absolute boss. The guy can learn a new language, new programming language in like weeks and do anything. And he's been wanting to get into cryptocurrency for a while. So when I, you know, approached him, I was like, hey, what do you think about, you know, we'll get into this whole NFT thing. He loved it. You know, I told him Cardano is the place to be. So, you know, we got onto Cardano, as you do. And yeah, so the project itself is a project for cryptocurrency lovers, but especially Cardano. It's the AdaArmy. And my goal and vision is to have it be that kind of pivotal project where, you know, if you love CNFTs, if you love Cardano, you know, you got to hold an AdaArmy. Like, we're all about that. And our community is flourishing. It's thriving. I couldn't be more happy with how everything has turned out, because you can't always choose how your community is going to be. You can do little things like don't have an invite competition, or, you know, choose certain things to try and steer the right direction. But you never know what you're going to get. And what we got is just amazing. We have shout out to everyone in the AdaArmy. You're all awesome. I love our community so much.
Before we get into the history, I did want to go over to the website and show off the artwork, and maybe you could talk about the mint that's coming up. And then we'll go back in time and talk about the first drop. So yeah, we're going to go over to newcnfts.io. If you guys don't know, this is your premier site for all things Cardano. New CNFT projects, auctions, events, spaces, CNFT timeline. And then eventually we're going to be putting some content creators on here too. So if you guys are new to Cardano, you could go to the CNFT creators tab and get connected with a content creator if you're interested. But yeah, coming on over here, you can see
I love the look of this site. I love how it's laid out in the calendar form like that as well.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it, man. It's work in progress. But if you guys have any suggestions, drop the comments down below. But I mean, dude, look at this artwork. It looks hella sick, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, we wanted to do things a little bit differently. So there's just so many projects, and we didn't want to do, and don't get me wrong, I got lots of cute animal kind of projects, but we wanted something that was a little bit more grungy, a little bit more degen.
Yeah.
And something that can personify, you know, this idea of like the AdaArmy. We're an army. So we came up with these these grungy, dope, like little AdaArmy characters. And they just came out so great. I couldn't believe it. And just to speak to that really briefly, there's so much thought that we put into this project. Like I was saying, things that we were sort of learning, or I was seeing from projects that I didn't like or liked. One thing that I saw from projects was a lot of random traits, kind of just thrown in there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And so the crazy thing about this project is we actually canned so many traits. I mean, in hindsight, I actually think we could have probably put more in, but we didn't want it to be just too random. Like, we didn't want, you know, I don't know, like whatever. Like, I'm a massive fan of space butts, but we didn't want like an AdaArmy guy to have like a yo-yo, like just something.
Yeah.
So like, if you even look, all of our traits kind of make sense. You know, like you can see that's actually rare, but in the GIF, you'll see them more common, like this, the Nuke Sunnies, and yeah, there's just so many little things that we thought about. And so that was one of the things, like, we have so many traits, but all of them kind of make sense. And I think it's made the collection look really cool. That's
what's up. And you know, I gotta say, one of my favorite lines in your about is right here: created by CNFT Degens for CNFT Degens, because that's what's up, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to go for. Like I said, as a collector, I wanted to have a project that I would ape in over, that I would love, that I could trust. So yeah, and again, I'm super stoked with how this has all evolved.
Heck yeah, man. And of course, website, Twitter, Discord, the links are right here. If you guys are interested, you guys better jump on it, because this is going to be a big project. I can feel it. All right, so let's transition back, CryptoHeaps. You said that you wanted to talk about the history of this project. Why don't you give us a little brief rundown of how the first drop went and how everything's going now, man?
Yeah, so the first drop was absolutely wild. And the cool thing, what I'm loving about our project is our exposure hasn't been crazy, but everyone who kind of comes across the AdaArmy seems to love it. And that's what makes me really happy and really bullish about my own project. Obviously, I'm going to be bullish on my project, but that kind of feedback is phenomenal. So we have already launched. We have a 2000 collection in place so far. So we launched on December 4. It was right when the markets were just getting absolutely slaughtered. Yeah, like the value of Cardano halved in price. Euro was actually down on the day of our launch too. So we had all of this stuff going against us. But we had looked at all the drops. Many drops go wrong, unfortunately, and some of it's as a result of just Cardano being sort of in its infancy, pre-Hydra, things like that. But Steve, our developer, came up with some really cool solutions to make it a seamless and smooth experience. So one thing he did was he had the mint only occur in our website. So there was no addresses floating around in Discord or on like a Twitter links. And this was because we wanted to protect our community. Our goal was so that nobody would get scammed, and we succeeded that. Nobody got scammed during our launch. So to me, that was a huge tick, huge win. That was one of the goals we had, which we achieved. So it was only through the website. And then the website had this fair queue and reserve system. So it was sort of first come on the website, you know, answer the captcha, stop some bots, and then you'll go in this queue. Here's the kicker. It wasn't like as soon as you go in the queue, the mint happens, because what we've seen is that once you overload the Cardano network, it doesn't matter if the order of transactions as they go through, it goes totally random. And you have people saying, well, this person sent in after me, I sent in before, I didn't get my mint, that kind of stuff. So this totally fixed all of that. It was sort of like a self-regulating bottleneck. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it. And I don't want to get in too much trouble because I'm not the dev, right? Steve's the dev. This is his area, but this is the gist of how it works. It was this fair first come, first serve queue and reserve system, and it worked flawless. It was so super smooth because we had an initial rush of quite a lot of buyers. And that's the other thing. You had 20 minutes to send your transaction, so you weren't seeing timeouts as well. So you could go in the queue, send your transaction, and it could take 20 minutes for it to verify, and you'd still keep your spot. So that's technical side of things. Could not have gone smoother. And I think people started to kind of respect what we were doing and see, okay, there's high quality here. Like I mentioned, this is a professional project, right? Like, you know, Steve's got nearly a decade of experience. He's graduated his computer science degree years ago. And same with our artists. You can see the details that the mints were coming out. People were getting so excited, seeing the details, seeing the variety of the traits and different, we have 6 classes and a bunch of traits. So people were really excited. But, you know, given the market, the timing, like we could not have picked a worse time to launch. And, you know, I've been involved in so many mints, and typically when the mints go a bit slow, so we did have like that initial rush, but then when it goes a bit slow, like usually the FUD creeps in and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, okay, I know that we're going to deliver long term. I'm going to kind of brace myself, but it never happened. There was no FUD. There was no FUD. Everyone was loving it, loving their picks, posting all of the things. Like everyone was super happy. And I think that's another thing was we never really hyped up our project. We didn't really invite and like nothing wrong with flipping. And you know what? Sometimes I flip. Sometimes I'm meant to flip. I'll come out and say it. But
everybody flips.
Yeah,
man.
like
everybody does it.
Yeah. But this project, we didn't have that in mind. We wanted a long-term, super fun project. And yeah, I hope that it explodes and blows up and people will see as over time we constantly deliver things to a high standard and do what we say. We'll probably see that reflect in the price. But this wasn't advertised in that way. So the people who came in, they loved the project. It didn't matter if we didn't sell out in 10 minutes and they could flip it for, you know, 2x or whatever on the aftermarket. No one cared. So it was just like, honestly, that I think it took, I could be wrong, but about 4 days to sell out. And it was like the funnest 4 days. It was honestly special. It was magical. Anyone who's in the Discord knows like what it was like. People posting their mints that they were pulling. It was just great. And every single one just looks super dope. So no one was really disappointed with their pulls too, which, yeah, I'm going into like, as you can tell, I'm super passionate about the project. I can talk all day, but you know, that's another little aspect of this project. We wanted it for sort of zombie change, no rarity style, but I personally like rarities too. So we wanted to also get the rarities end. So you got collectors you got people who want to collect based on class. Like for me, my favorite class is medic. They're like kind of rare, but they're not super rare. But you know, I love the medics. I want to collect the medics. And then you've got people who just want the classic CNFT tools rarities, we've got that. You know, we're on CNFT tools. You can look at the rarities that way. And then you want people who just like aesthetic. Like one of the most, I speak about one of our community members, Brother Buds, who, by the way, is actually developing a game for us. He's just a community member. He's developing a little game. If you go through into our Discord, there's a community-led project section. You'll see his project little game. But he's got one of the coolest AdaArmies I've seen, and it's not rare. It's not rare on the rankings, but it's like this all green, all matching clean. So yeah. So there's like all different ways you could look at the project, which again was super intentional. But I digress. So we had the launch on December 4th. That was fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better group of people in our community, and blown away. We did reduce our supply. We originally had planned on doing a 4K. Given the market conditions, we very quickly changed it to 2K. It's one of the only things we've really changed. For the most part, we don't like to sway from our roadmap, but we did that with our community in mind. You know, we didn't want people holding something where there was so much supply relative to the size of our community. So going forward, we're always going to have our supply based on the size of our community. We don't just want to release a 10K, try and sell 10K. That's not our goal, right? Again, this is about for the collectors. So we always have them at the forefront. So on that, December 25th rolls around, we do an airdrop. And again, I've seen things from airdrops that I love the thought and intention behind it. And I'm not saying I would have even thought of this stuff, but projects where it's like, oh, I'm doing a nice thing on an airdrop, but then it's like the same policy ID and the airdrops are like kind of common. And then you see like all these 8 ADA listings and stuff like that. So the things that we wanted to avoid was same policy ID. And we didn't want kind of like duplicates without a good reason. So what we did with the Christmas airdrop, pretty fun. We had 3 items, different policy ID, all of them with bits of utility. So we've only released the utility of 1. If you held a SPY, you actually got airdropped a Morse code message, and it decoded it, and it was the dog tag. The dog tags are for a 25% discount in future mints for AdaArmy or potential collabs. So that was kind of cool. We've got night vision goggles and we've got gas masks to come, and we're going to send out cheeky little cues like that. But yeah, just little bits of utility to make it fun. And then we have in January coming up another free airdrop for every AdaArmy NFT you hold, doesn't matter what class. It's a 25% chance to receive this airdrop, and this will be on the same policy ID, but this airdrop, it's like a badass female paratrooper division. So we actually wanted to include female soldiers in our first drop. Our artist, who I love this about him, he doesn't want to, he like almost won't listen to us if he doesn't think it's good art. You know what I mean? So we're like, oh, we want females in. He's like, nah, not enough time. He's like, it's like a whole nother project. And he didn't just want to like slap a wig on and be like, yeah, we got the, you know, we're including it. We wanted like, and we all agree on this.
Quality,
like, yeah, we want it to look dope, not just an afterthought. And we didn't want to charge people for that in the, moving forward. So we thought it's a free airdrop. It's just going to be another class added to the collection. They're all going to be unique. So going back to the airdrops where it was like, they're kind of like seen as common or whatever, these are all going to be unique. It's just like adding another class to the collection. So they should be pretty valued, pretty sought after. Everyone's eligible. We're going to make it very clear with our snapshot when that happens. Our Christmas snapshot was like literally minutes before we sent it out. So we do things real quick. So you don't have to worry. Like if you haven't seen the big airdrops, chances are it hasn't happened and you're still in the running. So you can go grab your AdaArmy NFT and be eligible. So there's two key parts to the roadmap left coming up. So after we do that airdrop, we have like a Black Ops stealth mint. I mean, you got to, right? Like if it's a Black Ops division, it's got to be done in stealth mint style. So yeah. So we're going to have different classes that you hold are going to get different clues as to how to participate in this stealth drop. And then after all the people have had a chance to figure out the clues or mint, then it'll go public. And that's our original plan. So subject to some kind of tweaking, but the gist of it is Black Ops division, stealth mint style. And then we're going to have the last bit on our roadmap currently is this build up, and it's to the war. And the war is another thing that we haven't really seen. Dirtbirds did something similar, and shout out to Dirtbirds. We like the Dirtbirds. And I view them as a kind of a similar project to us, where it's like they really do deliver on their roadmap over time and have a great community. So the burn mint, the war, I should say, the war is like this burn mint. So if you think of a burn mint normally, you send in your NFT, it gets burnt, you get a new NFT back from the collection. So you can think of it in that sense that you're going to send in, if you want to, you're going to send in your NFT, pay some ADA, and you'll get this new mint, this new collection, right? Which I don't want to give away, but it's also super cool. but there's a twist. So you've got that side of it. You're going to guarantee yourself your NFT. You're going to participate in the burn mint. But the soldier you send in is going to have a random set of outcomes, and it's going to be based on the class. And so like if you sent in an infantry, which is the most common, most populated class in our collection, but again, like my favorite infantry is, my favorite piece in the collection is an infantry, but nothing's common, you know.
Yeah.
But they'll have like the highest chance of dying, but being burnt, but you're going to get a relic back, like a gravestone or what, you know, we don't want to release too many details. Maybe it's a zombie, like,
yeah.
And each class is going to have like a different set of outcomes that could happen. You know, one outcome is they're victorious. Maybe they come back with a bit of a reward.
Yeah.
So we've got,
honor.
so it's almost like you're minting once, but getting two kind of mints back, if you will, like two completely random events. One's going to be random mint from the new collection, and then you're going to have a random set of outcomes from the previous. So really excited about that. We're building up toward that as well. Thanks so much for giving me the time to go on. There's just a lot to say about this project.
Yeah, no worries, dude. I'm super excited about this project. Man, it seems like you guys are really focusing on doing things right. And I think that the community is gonna, you know, reward you guys for that. Really, I really think so. Yeah,
thanks, man. And we've seen it already. Like I said, when people often don't know about our project, and that's why I'm grateful for you having me on. But as soon as they come in, they're hooked. And that's the thing we wanted, right? Like another thing I noticed was I would buy into a project, and even if the creators and everyone was still active, the next thing on the roadmap's so long, and it's just hard to grab your attention. There's projects that I love, but I'll admit I haven't been in the Discord in weeks because it's kind of like the next thing is so far away, or maybe it hasn't been announced. So we always have things happening. As you can tell, we minted on December 4. We had an airdrop on December 25th. We still don't know what some of the bits of that airdrop do. We've got another airdrop coming in January. Shortly after that, there's a stealth mint. And then not long after that, there's a war. So there's always something happening, which I love. You know, it's always exciting.
That's awesome. Well, I'm super excited for you, CryptoHeaps. I can't wait to see what's to come with your project. I just want to say thank you for coming on, sharing with us your project. We're going to definitely be wishing success to you and the AdaArmy. Who knows? Maybe some of my subscribers are going to get on board.
We'll see. Who knows? Thanks so much, TimeForDillon, for having me on, letting me speak my piece. Thanks so much to your YouTube channel and the content that you put out there. I really appreciate it. I'm a fan of your stuff as well, and your website too. I'm really looking forward to that, like it being built out to put the creators tab, but just also what it is there already. It's really good. It's one of my favorite ones now.
Wow, thank you. I really appreciate it. And to all you guys watching, I hope you guys have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. Dylan is out.